Snow is back in the forecast. We have a chance of snow squalls this evening and a round of snow overnight.
Plus, the latest from Capitol Hill with no end in sight for the partial government shutdown, how it could impact you if it continues. Good evening. We're glad you're with us for the night report here on KREM 2 News. I'm Sydney Schofield. We do want to start with weather because we saw a little bit of snow earlier this evening. Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo is there in our Outdoor Weather Center. And Jeremy, we might get more overnight, which could impact the commute tomorrow.
I think that is likely what we wind up seeing. Let's talk how this all plays out. We're at 31 degrees right now, and we do have some patchy fog thanks to that snow that moved through earlier. Where you saw more snow, your fog is more dense now. But overnight, things do start to change. Winter weather advisory is in effect for 1 to 5 inches of snow by the time we wake up. And almost all of us wind up on the 1-inch side of this one. Our snow lifts in. Notice it doesn't start until after midnight for most of us. And it continues through about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. By the time we hit the morning commute, most of it's over in North Idaho. I think you're battling a little bit of it early tomorrow morning in Coeur d'Alene, and then it starts to work its way out. Tomorrow afternoon, another round of scattered showers, and those scattered showers stick around the next few afternoons. Every morning, though, we're falling back into the 20s, which means these next few days, I would allow a little extra time in that morning commute just because there might be some slick spots. Tomorrow morning will be the worst of them. Overnight, we have that potential for snow, and we'll talk how much coming up in the full forecast.
Looking forward to that, Jeremy. Thank you. A fire in Sagal, Idaho on the morning of February 15th over the weekend. We're learning tonight it's killed one person and severely injured another. The person who died was found in a bedroom of the single-family home by firefighters. We also are learning that a neighbor who tried to help was critically injured. She had to be airlifted from the scene. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. And last night we told you about a man shot and killed by Grant County Sheriff's deputies. Well, tonight the Grant County coroner, Craig Morrison, confirmed the man's identity as 33-year-old Aaron Amon of Moses Lake. He was shot when deputies say they were searching a property in northeast Moses Lake with the police department as part of an open investigation. Investigators say the man pointed a rifle at law enforcement and 5 deputies fired at him. It's unclear how many times he was shot. An outside agency will investigate this shooting since both the sheriff's office and police department were involved. Tonight, a Spokane nonprofit is asking for donations after water damaged a bunch of their donations to help with those who are experiencing homelessness. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy tells us what happened and shows us how folks are rallying together to help.
The water pushed so hard it broke the door.
On Tuesday morning, a car crashed into a power pole and fire hydrant near West Rowan Avenue and Fleming in Spokane. It knocked out power for 300 people in the area, and water from the hydrant flooded the Morning Star Baptist Church basement, where the nonprofit Jules Helping Hands stores blankets and comforters for 3 of their 5 scattered site shelters. The nonprofit's founder, Julie Garcia, says church staff and neighbors sprang into action.
It was really amazing. There was a lot of neighbors outside, all helping the emergency workers. There were city workers, there were police, there were fire. Everybody was very helpful and kind.
The church's parking lot flooded as well, damaging the fire alarm and exit.
We're going to have to end up replacing the fire door also because I can hear it clicking.
Walter Kendricks is the pastor for Morning Star. He says the church will be able to continue services and the shelter, and some of who they serve, he says, tried to help them when the water started pouring in.
Some of our guests were outside trying to keep the water from coming in. They were digging holes in the ground so the water could perhaps seep into that.
Garcia says Jules will be hosting donation drives at all of their shelters starting Wednesday, emphasizing a need for blankets, twin bed sheets, and comforters. She adds since the flooding happened, folks have been especially kind in donating what they can.
It is really beautiful to see the community come together. This is a way for people to be able to help in a safe way.
An unpredictable problem in the process of getting solved. As Kendricks looks at the work ahead, knowing nobody will be displaced, he says sometimes faith means finding a reason to laugh.
It ran downhill. It just...
in the middle of a mess.
You have to. It's funny. You have to laugh.
Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Washington's so-called millionaire's tax is one step closer to becoming a reality. The proposal cleared the state Senate yesterday. Today, though, Governor Bob Ferguson made it clear he will not support the legislation in its current form. Mark Hanrahan has more tonight on what the governor is asking for.
A day after the state Senate passed a bill to tax Washingtonians who make more than $1 million in income at a rate of 9.9%, Governor Bob Ferguson weighed in.
I've said multiple times that any bill I sign must send a significant percentage of the revenue back to Washington families and small business owners. We are not there yet, and we are still not close to being there.
Ferguson says the millionaire's tax would impact 0.5% of Washingtonians. It would generate more than $3 billion a year in revenue, and Tuesday, the governor laid out where he wants that money to go.
We should use $1 billion of this new revenue to give small business owners a significant, that's an understatement, tax break.
He said he wants to eliminate or reduce the business and occupation tax for thousands of small businesses across the state. He also said he wants to expand the working families tax credit so it applies to significantly more families.
So we must dramatically expand both how many working families qualify and the amount of money that they receive. And I need to see both of those things for any bill that I'd be signing.
Ferguson also proposed eliminating sales tax on certain items, including hygiene products and diapers. And he proposed implementing a sales tax holiday, something several other states do that would impact all Washingtonians.
My proposal includes 2 sales tax holidays, one 3-day weekend, one 2-day holiday. During that time, there'd be no sales tax on items less than $1,000.
Opponents say they fear that tax threshold eventually would be lowered below the $1 million mark. When asked about that, Ferguson had this to say.
My position is clear, that the millionaire's tax should only apply to folks who make that $1 million. I've also said there needs to be essentially an inflation index, so that amount goes up every single year. So it doesn't essentially folks don't essentially come up to it eventually. So I've been crystal clear on that, that's what I support.
It's time for your Night Beat with a quick look at today's top stories. In our Boomtown series, we track growth across the region, including the growing workforce in the Inland Northwest. Today, Senator Maria Cantwell visited Spokane to announce plans for a new affordable child care center to meet the needs of working parents. We heard from one parent who said it's exactly what families like hers need.
And I have kids with special needs, and so this community center opens up so many doors for me. It opens up so many doors for fellow parents that I know that, not only have children with special needs that are like, oh, I don't know if my kid's, the daycare is going to call me in 5 minutes and say, hey, we can't do this.
This new facility will go on the corner of Haven and Wellesley and Hilliard. It will have space for 100 kids with the goal of offering more flexible childcare hours to working families in Spokane. With very little snow for an inland Northwest winter, we were curious about whether the city is saving money because they don't need to plow and treat roads nearly as much. Spokane officials say staff are still on their 20-hour daily staffing schedule, but instead of plowing, they're doing other things like street sweeping, leaf pickup, and maintaining equipment. The city's only used about 7% of their average season's worth of liquid de-icer. They've used 82% though of an average year's solid materials like sand and granular de-icer. Public Works spokesperson Kirsten Davis says the budget is harder to track since their winter season straddles 2 budget years. Today was the first day of Spokane double-decker buses being back in action after a crash into a railroad viaduct last month sent 7 people to the hospital. For now, the buses will run with no passengers while testing safety measures meant to prevent another crash. STA is aiming to put passengers back on the buses by the end of the month. That's it for your Night Beat. For more information on any of these stories, just head to our website, KREM.com. Stay with us. What we know about an avalanche in Lake Tahoe today. 10 skiers are still missing tonight. Everything we know ahead. Plus, honoring the life and legacy of Jesse Jackson, who passed away today. A closer look at his impact. And a reminder, you can check out our Black History Month Matters special on KREM 2 Plus. If you don't have it, you can download it on your TV and watch for free.